All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla Inc. And before we jump into this chart, welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. And to all my subscribers, welcome back. Let's jump into this chart. Tesla Inc. has had a bullish run. I mean, significant. We've been talking about it in the last couple of videos, all the way down here from 308 and bringing itself back up to newer highs, which I'm going to go ahead and talk about in just a second, but falling from 538.39, right? 538 and some change just to round it down. 538 is a pivotal number here for the bulls. Really, really, really important for the bulls to continue to hit newer highs and reach newer levels of resistance. As well, this is the highest point that this stock has reached. Pre-split and after split, this is the highest valuation that Tesla has ever reached in the history of this ticker symbol and this company. So I want you guys to keep in mind that long term and ahead of time from now, 538 is a very important number. Just rounding it down so that we don't have to think about the cents and the dimes and the nickels. But to round it to the dollar, 538 is a very, very important number for this ticker symbol, specifically due to the fact that the bulls need to break through that to hit newer highs and see new resistance levels. Now, after falling, it continued to have a bearish run, and it was in bearish territory throughout this process. There was just one point where the bulls actually were able to break out of that, and that was at this point, and quickly it fell down in this direction, hitting lows of 308. So on the other spectrum of things, 308 is the lowest that it's reached after the split and after having this bullish run, because before the split it was valued, and after the split it was valued above 308. It was in the 400 and some change area. I don't quite remember exactly that number right now. I think it was between 400 or 450, and it hit below that all the way down to 308. And this is a significant number on the bearish side of things, that if that gets broken through, this will see newer lows and hit newer support levels if it does so. So keep those numbers in mind. I really want to emphasize that. 538, 308. I know I mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning it to anybody that's new and coming across this video for the first time. I don't want you guys to miss out on that information, and keep those numbers in mind. But very, very bearish and great recovery here from the bulls, but as we can see here, it leveled off and it has crossed through the 50-day moving average, getting into bearish territory, and it's reached new lows, and we closed off at 423.10. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in here to see what is important for tomorrow, right? And tomorrow's Friday, the week ends, and we're definitely going to want to pay close attention to what's going on with this chart, because we will have to wait till next week to see what is going on. So highest point that this reached in the recovery is 462.05. It got rejected from there, leveled off, and the second highest point was our resistance level for today, and that's 457.80. Wasn't even reached or touched, and this actually just leveled off. And once it crossed the 50-day moving average, you can clearly see here, if we zoom in, very important point as well to pay close attention to is, as soon as this was crossed, very little time did the bulls have to recover this one in this direction. They weren't able to do that, and quickly this stumbled in a downward direction. The bears definitely dominating it and took over, showing that they had control once it got into their territory, which was below the 50-day moving average, and now we're in bearish territory, closing out once again at 423.10. So let's go ahead and look at what is important for tomorrow. Let's move our new support levels to their new locations. And I'm going to do this zoomed in, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit zoomed out based off of what the chart is showing us. So let's zoom in here and see what we want to pay close attention to. The first thing is 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is 436.84. Very, very important number. As long as we stay below it, which we currently are at 423.10, closing out that number and that price at the end of the day, right? We are below the 50-day moving average in bearish territory. The bulls have to break through this 436.84 to start to work their way up into bullish territory and hitting newer highs. But before doing that, we have our resistance level here, and our resistance is 430 on the dot. That is the first resistance level that the bulls are going to want to break through. They're going to want to break through $430, turn that into support, prove it and test it, and from that point on, they can start to work their way up to newer highs. Now, if you want to look at the next resistance level, which is the highest point from this drop and recovery, it is 437.45, right? 437.45. Let me get right on it. Excuse me. There we go. 437.45 is very important. That is the resistance level that can tell you that we finally crossed as bulls, right? The 50-day moving average, and we've created a support above it. And from that point on, you can actually start to see that it will start to work its way up in newer highs and new resistance levels further away from the 50-day moving average in a upward direction, because the 50-day moving average is slightly below that at 436.84. So if this next resistance level, 437.45, excuse me, can get broken through, now the 50-day moving average has been broken through and the first level of resistance in bullish territory has been accomplished, turn into support, and this can start to work its way up to newer highs. Now, before all of that happening, 430 needs to be turned into support so that the bulls can start to work their way up to these resistance levels and new highs that it needs to reach for a recovery. Now, on the other hand of things, right, we have what the bears want. And the bears are going to want to break through support. And support is 416.54. If 416.54 gets broken through, this will test newer lows because we're already in bearish territory. We're below the 50-day moving average. We're closing at 423.10. And I want to emphasize, if 416.54 gets broken through, how important it is to pay close attention to this stock. I'd pay very, very close attention to how it's reacting, who's gaining control. Are the bulls even trying to reappear? Are they trying to bring this one back up to go ahead and recover it? And even if they do, the bears are still in control by keeping it below the 50-day moving average. So if 416.54 gets broken through and the bulls have no recovery and they're having a hard time, then this will test newer lows and get deeper into bearish territory, probably even getting close to the next support level or breaking through it. And by doing that, they're getting further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. So after 416.54, there's another great point, and that is 410.31. That's the lowest point, if we can zoom out here and look at it, lowest point from this bearish run, and obviously right before the recovery. That is a very, very important support level here at 410.30, 410 in general. If we want to zoom in and really get it, 410.30 is the number. You want to go ahead and keep that number in mind, 410.30. If that gets broken through, now not only has 416.54 got broken through, and that's the first support level, but now we have the second support level that has been broken through, and this will start to see newer lows and start to work its way down to newer support levels. If that does happen, we are getting deeper into bearish territory, and the bulls are going to have to load up on stocks and bring this one back up for a recovery. And even if they do, if they don't cross the 50-day moving average of 436.84, this won't be even close to seeing new highs or getting even back into bullish territory for the bulls to have a run and start to work their way up with momentum as they did here previously. We're going to have to see how this one plays out tomorrow. As always, if you learn something new and feel encouraged to subscribe, please do so. But don't forget to click on the bell so that you don't miss out on a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.